So when I joined a month ago, I think that month specifically I did 9K, and I was kind of
hmm
hovering honestly between like 5 to 10 depending on,
Yeah.
how good the month was. Let's say I was terrible on the calls. It's like I'm still going to make more money at the end of the day and the business is still going to move forward.
It's like the economics of scale as well. I think a lot of people ignore the micro constraints, but they don't understand that as they scale the amount of input, they scale the problem as well. It's like the crack gets bigger. Marcus, for the people that don't know you, if you can just give us an introduction on who you are, where you're based, what kind of agency you run, and yeah, we can take it from there.
Yeah. So my name is Marcus. I'm based in Australia. I specifically serve Australian clients. I work with real estate agents. So we run a real estate marketing agency doing pretty basic stuff, Facebook ads, lead
Mhm.
generation, building out some basic automations and funnels and stuff like that.
Nice, cool. So just typical lead gen in the Australian market. How long you been in the program for now? Because I believe initially, you correct me if I'm wrong, you were in launch and land, right?
No, I came straight into
You
to
came
licensing
straight for the
scale.
big boy program.
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
nice. How long have you been
I
in the
was I was
program
an
now?
organic lead, so like I
Yeah,
didn't need much selling coming in.
easy sale. Yeah.
Yeah,
So how long ago did you join the program?
pretty much on 30 days right now, so a month.
Nice, cool. And take me back to 30 days ago in terms of where the business was at revenue wise. What were the biggest constraints that was stopping you from getting to where you are now, as an example? I believe you just hit 40K a month, right?
Yeah, yeah. Just did
Nice.
40K. So when I joined a month ago, I think that month specifically I did 9K, and I was kind of
hmm
hovering honestly between like 5 to 10 depending on,
Yeah.
how good the month was. But the biggest constraint was honestly it was really just direction and clarity. Like, and I think like a lot of, you know, agency owners that are in the position that I was in a month ago can feel like at least I felt like there's like 100 different things that you can focus on. And you're getting so much information from so many different sources. And it's like nothing was consistent because I was constantly changing things or like second guessing or overthinking things. And that really kind of kept me in the same loop. Like I was at 10K a month for like a year, just because
Wow.
just because I was constantly in a loop. Like I'd, you know, find something that's working and then run into a problem and then ponder that problem for like 2, 3, 4 weeks and then take another 2, 3, 4 weeks to execute, and then it was just like
Yeah.
stuck in that cycle. And then from a tactical standpoint, my show rate was pretty terrible.
Yeah. Like you were
So
like 30%, right? It's
it was
horseshit.
like I think it was like 40%. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty bad. Like if you think about it, it's like whatever your cost per book call is, basically double it. Because you're not getting on
Mhm.
calls with half those people. So that was a huge bottleneck that I took away straight from onboarding. Like as soon as I talked to Alex, when I joined the program, I honestly came in with like the mindset of like I'm going to join this program. There's a lot of things I'm going to get out of it, but first and foremost, I want to get my cost per book call within KPI. I believe I said that
Yeah.
to him, and he was like, "Cool, let's do an audit of the business. That's a secondary thing. Your main thing is going to be show rate," which is exactly what I wanted someone to be like.
Yeah.
This is where you should spend the majority of your time for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, and just go hard on that. Which is what I did. I feel like I'm a pretty good executor. Like I just went 100% in on that, and my show rate jumped to like 65%, like straight away. It was just like that direction and that clarity from someone being
Yeah.
like, "This is where to focus your energy."
Yeah. I found that as well in business. Like the best thing you can buy a lot of the time is a second set of eyes. And sometimes it's funny, like you already know that the problem's there and you understand on a fundamental level to some degree, oh, I should probably do this. I should probably do that. But when you pay somebody else, not only do you pay the accountability of like, well, I just paid like a lot of money for this thing, so I'm actually going to act on it now. But you like revalidate your point and you get it broken down in a way easier to implement format. So when you identified the show rate problem, Alex, who for context, if you're watching this, is a account manager on our team, he revealed that that is the thing you should focus on. What are the specific levers that you pulled?
Dude, like where can I start? Like it's a whole module in the program for like show rate best practices, and it's like,
Mhm.
to be honest, I was super impressed, or even just like had my mind opened to how many things I can do to increase the show rate. Because for me, I was
Yeah,
thinking, like when I thought of show rate like a month ago, I probably would have thought of like, oh, just make your qualifications better, or send some more pre-call content, or
yeah,
maybe call the leads to convert them, to get them to show up more. But it's like a whole checklist of things to implement. Um, so I just went through that entire module and pretty much incorporated all of it. It took about honestly 2 weeks to kind of get everything done. Which from my old perspective would have been like, damn, 2 weeks, like how much stuff is there can you do? But your mind opens and you kind of find more information. Yeah, so I just went hard on all of that, all of those show rate best practices. And even some now, like there's still stuff that I haven't fully implemented yet. But even the stuff that I have, like it's made a massive difference. Again, it went from like 40% to 65% show rate
Yeah.
in what like since I've implemented it, which is like the last like 2 weeks or so, which is insane. Like that changes the return on ad spend and just like every metric from that point forward so much. Like even if my close rate didn't improve, let's say I was terrible on the calls, it's like I'm still going to make more money at the end of the day, and the business is still going to move forward.
Yeah. And it's like the economics of scale as well. I think a lot of people ignore the micro constraints, but they don't understand that as they scale the amount of input, they scale the problem as well. It's like the crack gets bigger. So like on a small level, let's say you're getting 50 calls a month. Well, a 40% to a 65% show rate doesn't seem insane. But then let's say the equivalent of you getting 1,000 calls a month booked. 40% show rate, 400 people on a call, 65%, 650. That's an additional 250 people that are showed on a call. Let's say 200 are qualified. That's a significant amount of additional revenue coming in, right? So you fixed the show rate, went from 40 to 65%. What other levers? Because surely that wasn't the only lever you pulled to go from 10 or like 9 to 40. What additional things did you do?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I changed, which was actually more immediate because pretty much instant in comparison to the show rate, was increasing my prices. I remember that wasn't even on my mind at the time, because when I joined the program, I actually moved from a 3-month PIF to a 6-month. But what I did was, and this is just like a limiting belief around like pricing, I actually decreased what the equivalent like MRR would be.
Yeah.
So I went from like a 3,500 on a 3-month to a 6K PIF, right? Because in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm charging more upfront. There's a lot of beliefs about that. Can I close? Can all that stuff? So, but that wasn't even on my mind because I thought I already took that jump. And so when I sat down with Alex on the first call, he was like, dude, first of all, you went backwards. And second of all, my close rate was way higher than it needed to be. It was like 37%.
Yeah.
And so he was like, not only did you went backwards, but also you need to increase your prices again. So I remember this was the very first call, joined the program, had the onboarding call that day, said, sure, I can, that's just a mental thing. Like my next call, I'll just say a higher price. And I think I took 2 or 3 calls, and then boom, I immediately charged way more than I wasn't even considering doing that. And just that increase, now we're piffing way more. Because I try to sell pips anyway, but it's like the amount you're collecting up front. It was a huge lever, which really, it was honestly a big, I think I chucked it in the Slack channel as well, straight away. As soon as I closed that guy, I was like, that was a crazy belief moment for me where I was like, oh damn, it's really these simple decisions where it's just like getting clarity from someone who knows what they're talking about to say, hey, you can do this instantly and it's going to improve your business. That was another thing on top of the show. Because if you combine that with the show rate, now more people are showing up and I'm charging more. The math starts mathing and it starts, adding up and things like that.
It all compounds.
Exactly. I mean, going from that's honestly how I went from the 9K to the 40K was just, and it might sound overly simple to maybe someone that's watching this, but it's like, if you move the right levers, your growth, like you said, everything just compounds and you can achieve way more than like 40K is the most I've ever made in a month. Like it is insane. Like when I did it, I didn't even like really realize it. I just looked at the Stripe and I was like, holy shit, like I just crossed 40K a month. Because for me, it didn't feel like massive changes. It was just like the few things that are going to make the biggest difference. I did those, and then surprise, surprise, you see the outcome of it, and it's like, oh my god! But it's great now mentally for me because now I know the impact of focusing on the right things. Do you know what I
mean? 100%. And that's it. It's like one thing I also recently had to remind myself of is exactly that, where as entrepreneurs, we have a tendency to overcomplicate things and make it harder than it actually needs to be. Because if we look at these inspirational figures that we all want to be like, you've got the Hormozi books in the background. We look at Hormozi, right? Why is Hormozi's story so compelling? Because he went from broke, sleeping on the gym floor to where he is now. And it was this like hero's journey of ups and downs and ups and downs. And then he's magically up here. Nobody idolizes the person who immediately starts a business and in 6 months gets to like $100 million, which does happen. Like, I think there was that Cal AI guy that launched that SaaS that got up to like a ridiculous ARR with basically the easiest products that anyone could ever make. It was like a GPT wrapper. But the point I'm trying to make is, and the way this ties in is, sometimes the easiest things that you can do are often the best thing to do. And the minute that you can detach the input you put in from the business growth and you focus on what are the things that I can do, regardless of if it's easy or if it's hard, that directly attack the number one constraint that will allow us to grow, the business will grow way faster and you'll probably work way less on shit that doesn't matter.
Exactly. It's almost like leading indicators. It's like if you just stay, I don't know if you've heard Sam Ovens talks about this idea of kind of climbing the mountain. You know what I mean? He's like, a lot of people look at the summit, like the peak of the mountain, and they just focus on that, and it becomes super almost intimidating because you're always so far away from it. And he said, cool, you use that as direction of like, that's where I'm going. I'm trying to get to the top. But on my day to day, I'm looking down and I'm just going one step at a time. I know that the direction's already set, which was the big thing for me, was what direction do I go in? And now on a day to day, you're just one step at a time, which is easier to focus on and also easier to sustain because you can see the wins. You know what I mean? And so that's going to obviously get you to that faster versus if you don't do that, then, you know, if you're just looking at the summit the whole time, you're probably going to give up, right? Or you're probably going to change path and be like, this is taking too long. Let me go down this path. Let me go down this path. And now you're going side to side instead of up. Right. It's like the way that I kind of think about that, you know?
In life, there's the knowns, like the things you know, like, you know how to get an agency up to, if I came to you and I said, Marcus, get an agency to $10,000 a month, I wouldn't need to explain, click this button, click, because you've already done it. It's a no. Then you've got like the unknown knowns. It's like the things you know you don't know. Like, you know that you don't know yet how to manage a team of 30 people.
Right.
But you know you don't know it, and you'll know you'll eventually know it, right? Then there's the known unknowns, the things you don't know you know, and then the things you don't know you don't know. These are the things that fuck you over the most. And an example of that was just having a second set of eyes on your pricing and going, holy shit, your close rate is this. If your close rate is above this benchmark, that means you're charging too little. You're charging with what in the confinement of your current belief system can conceptualize as enough or as high ticket. Fuck that belief system. Put the price up here, you immediately make more money, and it's a very easy, immediate change that you can see an immediate result of. And it's just, you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, 100%.